In the budget today, Mr. Hunt he has very little room to manoeuvre. The OBR has said that the Chancellor's fiscal headroom, the amount of money that he has to play with, is very limited. And the state of the economy is not great. It's better than it was when Rishi Sunak took control. But the state of the economy is in a mess because of Liz Truss. She was also a Conservative Prime Minister. So the Conservative Party is responsible for the mess which we are dealing with at the moment. If it's not Liz Truss, then we could blame Brexit. I'm sure there'll be plenty of comments about that. But it's not enough simply to point the finger of doom and say, oh, this is all the result of Ukraine, or this is all the result of the Israeli crisis. No, it's really not. It's all a result of Brexit and Liz Truss. And both of those were controlled by Conservative policy. The government's internal forecasts suggest that the headroom, which at the beginning of the year looked very positive, has become much smaller. But there are some people in the Conservative Party who think that Jeremy Hunt has found a surprising cache of cash that he can give out. There are 5 issues which are worth looking out for today. The first one is whether or not Mr. Hunt is going to cut spending on public services. He can't cut health, he can't cut education, he can't cut defence because these are protected. He should in fact be giving more money to defence because of the wars ongoing and because of Britain's involvement. He should, of course, be giving more money to health and ensuring that money isn't sucked up by the bureaucrats. The same with education. So the area to attack, I suppose, is justice. And you have to see whether or not that will be the next victim of the austerity drive. If Mr. Hunt can find money out of attacking the legal system, and remember, the Conservatives have had the trope for some time now about lefty lawyers, so the Conservative Party is not doesn't respect the legal system particularly as a concept or as a class, as a group. He'll be very happy. He'll be very happy to claw some money back from there. If Mr. Hunt could get some money back, then the idea is that he would cut national insurance contribution. This would be better from his point of view than cutting income tax. And a national insurance contribution could be seen to benefit workers across the country. It could be seen to be egalitarian, which is, of course, something that the Conservative Party is often accused of not being. So he could cut 2p off national insurance contributions. Or he could cut income tax by 1 or 2p in the pound or even more. The likelihood is that it will be national insurance. Could be both, who knows. The next area where we should look out is whether or not the Chancellor has found other ways to prop up his fiscal headroom, to give himself more space in the attic. And this would be an opportunity to cut different tax breaks. The obvious one to go for is to cut the non-domicile tax break, the thing that Rishi Sunak's wife invoked for so many years. He might also impose a greater tax on vaping, higher tobacco duty, maybe add a tax to alcohol, passenger duty, airports, business class travel. These are all areas which are under the microscope of possibilities. And finally, what sort of magic is he going to perform to send everybody, or at least the Conservative Party, off happy? Will that be a cut or a rise in the fuel tax in line with inflation? Will that be something to benefit small businesses? Will that be something to aid or impede artificial intelligence? It's very difficult to know what sort of magic Mr. Hunt might have at his fingertips, because there isn't very much opportunity. And he could opt instead for a very dry budget, where there is no glitter at all, where it's just doom and gloom. But I think at this particular point he is expected to leave the chamber cheering. And I think that's going to be the non-domicile trick, along with something else, maybe a British ISA. I've never really understood how to use ISAs, by the way. I know what they are. They're all a little bit beyond my grasp. And having been a teacher, I think many teachers like me live pretty well hand to mouth. What little money I've got, I seem to find myself spending on computer equipment. So there we are. I will look on if he's talking about ISAs with a certain amount of envy, but and incredulity. And anyway, I will get back to you as the budget happens and give you my opinion as and if I can.